Hi, my name is Mauricio.
And I'm Kim. Privacy Test Driver teaches companies to protect their valuable information by choosing who to share with and for how long, so you stay in control.
In honor of Privacy Week 2023, we are here with the Chamber of Commerce of Greater Chapel Hill-Carrboro to bring you this helpful seminar from our Small Business series.
Welcome to our Small Business series. Journey on the path most often taken, or the road to compromise is paved with distractions. We'll be looking at email compromise. So you get this email, maybe a receipt for purchase. Well, if you remember buying something, then it's probably a valid email. But if you don't remember it, if there's so many things that you've been doing, you just don't remember, then stop and take a moment and look at it. Usually the email is going to have a sense of urgency, something critically important that you must do right now, because they don't want you to take a moment and think about the email. Unfortunately, it's probably camouflage. It probably does look like something that might be real. The word choices might be just a bit off. For example, kindly is not often used in the United States. Do validate the email. Was it in fact sent by the person who's on the sender line? If you're not sure, contact them. Do not just hit reply on the email. You should call them, or get into a voice or video chat with them, or go see them. If there's a web link in your email, do not click on the link and just trust where it sends you. Go to your web browser and type in the address of where you should be going. And don't interact with the email. If you hit unsubscribe, that's interacting with the email. If you have someone who's helping you managing your IT or your email, contact them. Find out whether you should forward them the email or whether you should just delete it. There may be some settings that they can adjust in your spam filter. They may need to block the sender. If it's an account of someone that you do know, but they didn't send the email, their account may have been compromised in sending out a bunch of emails. So they would definitely appreciate no. If you're not sure, delete the email. If you don't have anyone assisting you with email or IT, delete the email. Just for grins, you can send us one of your spams so we can professionally insult it. Let us fillet and roast your fish. Send it to phishing@privacytestdriver.com. Oops, I did it again. I clicked the link. Good news, everyone! You've been hacked! It happens to the best of us from time to time. So what should you do about it, and how do you know it's been bad? Well, if it's ransomware, you probably got excessive power drain on your laptop or phone. There's probably sluggish and slow to respond to you. You probably have a slow network speed. You may have unauthorized account access or leaked personal data. You may be getting strange text messages, weird phone calls, bizarre emails. You may be having Bluetooth or Wi-Fi connections that you didn't pick. You may have unauthorized use of your camera or microphone. You may be getting a lot of ads. You may be starting to see some fake security warnings. In particular ransomware, you'll be getting a ransomware notice with instructions on how to go ahead and pay them. You may have some new or unknown software installed, such as Mimikatz, Microsoft Process Explorer, software removal programs, Process Hacker, or Gmail. You may get even more email and phishing. There may be a lot of crashes. You're probably going to have a longer time to wait when your computer boots or reboots. There may be scrambled files, encrypted files, or missing files. Your account may be sending out emails, and your antivirus or firewall may be deactivated or removed. So do stop using that hard drive. Ew, cooties! It's got stuff. Ick. Buy a new hard drive. When you get the new hard drive, remove the old one, put the new one in. If you don't feel comfortable, if you're not sure you can do that, you can hire someone who's reputable and technically skilled to do that for you. If you have backups, restore the backups to the new hard drive after the new hard drive's been installed. If you have cyber insurance, you may need to contact them. You may need to contact law enforcement. If you do, when they're done with you, then you can safely dispose of the hard drive. Or if you don't have it, you can just safely dispose of the hard drive. Wipe it clean. And remember, deleting things is not actually removing the files. It goes a little bit deeper than that. And you should get it heavy-duty shredded. TriangleEcycling.com. You can go see them and make arrangements for that. And just for grins, you can see a heavy-duty industrial shredder in action on YouTube at Technical World. It's not that hard to stay on the road. You probably have a few things working in your favor. There are some small steps that you can do now, and you may already be doing some of them. Definitely use passwords and lock screens. If you leave your device and it goes to timeout, make sure that when you come back, you see a login screen. You don't see a screensaver that you just tap and start moving and working. Do not be the Incredible Hulk. If you go in the door, go out the door. Do not go out the wall or window. So if you log into some place, you have to log out of that place. Do not just X to close it. Change your default passwords. This includes your point of sale and wireless routers. If it's default, it's documented, it's on the web, you can find it to work with your device, and so can hackers. You should consider a password manager. Do not text yourself the password. And you probably shouldn't email yourself the password. The only time it would be safe to email yourself is if you know it's end-to-end encrypted. If you're not sure, don't do it. Don't use passwords that are details about you or your family or your pets. Especially don't use your birthday or bank PIN. If you use a lot of public Wi-Fi, you should consider using a virtual private network or VPN. You should definitely start making backups. Monthly is a good place to start. So you can go get an external hard drive, plug it in, back it up. If you can, have two. Have one that's your monthly backup, and every month, just overwrite it and make a new backup. You should have a second one that's for long-term storage. Make a backup, and leave it hanging out for 3 months, 6 months, or a year. You should decide which computers or your phones are work only and which ones are okay to have work and personal use on it. If it's work, do not use it for personal use. If it's okay to have both, then make sure you're not doing both at the same time. Close out of everything that you're doing for work before you do your personal stuff. And the same way, close out of all your personal stuff before you're doing work stuff. Think about, do you care who has access and who uses your device? Think about whether or not you care how it's used. Should you be setting things for internet use and social media use? So let's take a supposed example. Maybe you are a small retail company. Well, what happens? If your customer information is in email contacts, if your sales payment information is in your point of sale, your PayPal, your Square, your Stripe, your Venmo, or whatever, if your inventory is in an Excel spreadsheet, if you have physical stock and actual items, well, if something happens and you've set up multi-factor authentication, then your contact list is not compromised and you keep your customer information. If you don't have a backup routine or even a first backup, your spreadsheets are probably lost. But then you can still do a physical inventory. And never, never, never forget who you are. You are not the computer. The computer is a box of plastic and metal. You and your business are so much more than that. And each of the things we've gone over today are their own class topics. We'd be happy to talk with you about them more. Passwords, phishing, privacy settings, ransomware, scams, social engineering, setting up a VPN. You could even get an app that you install such as HideMe, Mullvad, Proton, Privado, RiseUp, TunnelBear, Windscribe. Getting, installing, and configuring your password manager. There may be one built in on your Samsung, your Android, your Apple iOS. LastPass has been compromised several times. Best not to use it. You could use 1Password, Dashlane, Keeper, KeePass, 1Pass, Sticky Password, Soho Vault. Bitwarden can be a bit tricky to set up and use. Thank you for joining us today on our small business series, Journey on the Path Most Often Taken. The road to compromise is paved with distractions.
Privacy Test Driver and the Chamber hope you find this useful.
Please contact us at training@privacytestdriver.com to schedule your next training. Or contact info@carolinachamber.org for more chamber events. Thank you.